About 2,000 feet above the ground, two girls were trapped on a tiny metal platform. The ladder that was supposed to take them down had completely broken off and fallen to the ground. Their phones had no network, and the bag with water and all their essential supplies was stuck about 50 feet below them on a satellite dish. To call for help, they threw their phone down, fired a flare gun, and even tried sending a message using a drone. But every plan failed for one reason or another. Meanwhile, vultures circling the tower started coming closer. Now, to escape from there, Becky had to do something she never imagined she would ever do. How did they get stuck at such a height? Let's go back to the beginning. The story starts at a tall cliff. Becky was rock climbing with her husband Dan and her closest friend Hunter. The three of them had climbed many times before, so none of them felt scared in the beginning. Hunter climbed ahead, joking around while Becky and Dan followed behind her. Dan was trying to cross a difficult part of the cliff. He put his hand into a crack above him. Suddenly, a bat flew out of it. Dan panicked, pulled his hand back, and slipped. The safety rope stopped him from falling straight down, but he ended up hanging far below in midair. Becky quickly steadied herself and tried pulling him up with the rope. Hunter rushed to help too. Hanging below, Dan told Becky not to panic and to pull the rope slowly, but the anchor fixed into the rock couldn't hold Dan's weight for long. The metal piece started loosening. Becky tried to stop it, but the next moment the anchor popped out completely. Dan fell straight down at high speed. Becky and Hunter couldn't do anything. They watched helplessly as he disappeared below the cliff. About a year after the accident, Becky's life was nothing like before. She had stopped climbing and barely met any friends. Dan's things were still kept exactly the same in her house. She often watched his old videos and drank at night when she couldn't sleep. Her father, James, kept trying to reach her, but Becky ignored most of his calls. James knew she still hadn't recovered from Dan's death, but Becky wasn't ready to talk to him. One night, James saw her drunk outside a bar. He told her to come home and explained that hurting herself like this wouldn't bring Dan back. He also said that maybe Dan wasn't as perfect as Becky had started imagining him to be. Hearing this, Becky got angry. She felt her father was speaking against Dan even after his death. She told James to stop interfering in her life and went home alone. At home, she sat with Dan's wedding ring and his old videos. She was in such a bad state that she picked up a bottle of pills and poured some into her hand. She was just about to take them when suddenly her phone rang. The call was from Hunter. After Dan's death, Hunter also hadn't visited Becky for a long time. The next day, she came to Becky's house and tried to lighten the mood by joking around like before. Now Hunter makes climbing and dangerous stunt videos for social media. She has a lot of followers, and for every new video, she looks for places where most people wouldn't dare to go. She showed Becky a picture of an old television tower. This was the B-67 tower, standing alone in the desert, almost 2,000 feet tall. It had been shut down for years and was in very bad condition. Hunter wanted to climb it and shoot a new video. She told Becky to come with her and scatter Dan's ashes from the top of the tower. Becky refused immediately. Ever since Dan's fall, even thinking about heights made her body shake. Hunter left. That night, Becky had a dream about Dan. She remembered old moments, their wedding, and a 4-digit code Dan once gave her. The next morning, she sat for a little time staring at the box containing Dan's ashes. Finally, she called Hunter and agreed to go to the tower with her. They drove a long distance and reached the deserted area. On the way, they stopped at a small roadside diner. Becky's phone battery was almost dead. Hunter unplugged a table lamp and used the same socket to charge Becky's phone. Becky asked how she knew tricks like that. Hunter said that when you travel a lot, you learn to use whatever power source you can find. Later, this trick would help Becky a lot. Outside the diner, the tower was visible far away in the sky. Even from that distance, its height was obvious. People there told them the tower hadn't been used in years and was going to be demolished soon. Hunter didn't take the warning seriously. She believed they would climb early in the morning and be back down in a few hours. The next morning, they drove toward the tower. On the way, a fast truck passed extremely close to their car. A little further ahead, they found a no trespassing sign and a locked gate. Hunter parked the car there. The rest of the way had to be covered on foot. While walking, they saw some vultures eating a wounded animal. Hunter threw stones to scare them away. Becky looked at the injured animal, but they didn't stay long and kept moving. After some time, they reached the base of the tower. Standing close to it, they finally understood how tall it really was. The lower part was like a huge metal cage with a straight ladder running all the way up. Above that was a large satellite dish and then a thin pole almost 200 feet long. At the very top was a tiny platform with a warning light. Seeing the tower, Becky froze. She told Hunter this wasn't a good idea. Climbing such an old, rusted structure was extremely dangerous. Hunter told her that if at any point she felt she couldn't continue, they would come back down. Hunter turned on her camera and started climbing the ladder. Becky followed behind her. At first, the ladder seemed strong, but as they climbed higher, its condition got worse. Hunter kept climbing without stopping. Hunter kept talking to her followers through the camera, showing them the climb and recording the view below. Becky continued slowly. She avoided looking down and focused only on the next step in front of her. At one point, her foot almost slipped. She grabbed the ladder tightly and froze. Hunter told her to breathe normally and keep climbing slowly. After a long climb, both of them reached the platform where the big satellite dish was. Becky thought they had reached the top of the tower, but Hunter pointed upward toward the thin pole above them. The real top was still about 200 feet higher. This ladder was even thinner, and there was no safety cage around it. The strong wind made the entire pole sway slightly. Becky again thought about turning back, but when she looked at Dan's ashes, she decided to continue. Hunter climbed first, and Becky followed behind her. Slowly, both of them reached the final platform. It was so small that even two people could barely sit on it. All around them, they could see miles of desert, mountains, and empty roads. The ground was so far below that their car looked like a tiny dot. Hunter immediately took out her camera and started filming. She sat on the edge of the platform and, using her safety rope, leaned out with one hand hanging in the air. Becky tried to stop her, but Hunter laughed and climbed back up after a few seconds. Then she asked Becky to try it too. Becky refused at first, but Hunter checked her safety rope again. Becky slowly moved to the edge and hung down for a few seconds. The moment she looked down from that height, her breathing became fast. After a while, Hunter pulled her back up. Now Becky took out Dan's ashes. She stood there holding the box for a moment and then released the ashes into the air. The strong wind carried them far away from the tower. After that, they sat on the platform for a while and then prepared to climb down. This time, Becky went first. She stepped onto the thin ladder attached to the platform and climbed down a few steps. Suddenly, a rusted bolt popped out. The entire ladder shook violently and then broke off from the pole, falling straight down. Becky lost her balance and ended up hanging below the platform in midair. Only the safety rope kept her from falling. Hunter grabbed the rope immediately and tried pulling her up. Becky hit the pole and a sharp piece of metal stabbed into her thigh. After a lot of effort, Hunter managed to pull her back onto the platform. Blood was flowing from Becky's leg. Hunter tore a piece of her clothing and tied it tightly around the wound. Both of them looked down. The entire ladder had fallen to the ground. Their only way down was gone. Their backpack had also fallen during the accident, but instead of reaching the ground, it got stuck on the satellite dish about 50 feet below them. Their water, drone, and all essential supplies were inside it. They tried calling for help on their phones, but at that height, there was no network. Near the platform, there was an emergency supply box. Hunter opened it. Inside, they found binoculars and a flare gun, but there was no radio or communication device inside the box. Both of them shouted loudly toward the ground and hit the metal pole to make noise. But from 2,000 feet above, it was almost impossible for their voices to reach the ground. Hours passed. The sunlight grew harsher and they didn't have a single drop of water. Hunter remembered that before climbing the tower, she had uploaded a video from the ground. That meant there was network somewhere below. She typed a help message on her phone, tied it to a rope, and lowered it down. They let the entire rope unwind, but the phone still didn't reach the area with signal. The rope ended far before that. Now Hunter came up with a new plan. They would throw the phone down, but if it hit the ground directly, it would break. So she took off one of her shoes. They wrapped the phone inside a sock and Hunter's padded bra, then stuffed it tightly inside the shoe. The message was already typed so that the moment the phone got network, it would send automatically. They threw the shoe down. It fell fast and disappeared within seconds. They had no idea whether the phone reached safely or broke on the way. After some time, Hunter used the binoculars to look around. She saw a man walking with his dog below. An old RV was parked nearby. Both girls screamed with all their strength, but the man didn't look up. Becky threw her other shoe down. It hit the fallen ladder and made a loud noise. The man looked around for a moment, but he still couldn't see the girls stuck high above on the tower. Hunter said the flare gun had very few shots, so they should wait until night. In the dark, the flare's light would be visible from farther away. After evening, 2 men appeared near the RV. Becky took out the flare gun and fired it. Red light spread across the sky around the tower. The men below looked up, and this time they finally saw the girls standing on the tiny platform. Becky and Hunter waved happily. They thought the men would call for help, but instead, the 2 men slowly walked toward Hunter's car. They broke the window, got inside, started the car, and drove away. The girls screamed from above, but the men disappeared with the car. At night, the air became cold. There was no space to lie down on the platform, so both of them tied themselves to the pole with ropes to avoid falling while asleep. Becky started watching her old wedding video on her phone. In the video, Dan was saying 143 to her, their private code meaning, "I love you." In the same video, Becky noticed Hunter in the background. Everyone else looked happy, but Hunter's face looked a little troubled. Becky remembered the 143 tattoo on Hunter's leg. She asked her why she had those numbers written on her body. Hunter tried to avoid the question at first, but Becky insisted she tell the truth. Finally, Hunter admitted that she had an affair with Dan. She said it lasted for about 4 months. Dan started it, but Hunter didn't stop him. Later, she realized she was betraying her best friend, so she distanced herself from Dan. Hunter also said that because of this guilt, she couldn't face Becky after Dan's death and didn't visit her for a long time. Becky stayed silent for a while. The man she had been grieving for an entire year, the man she had pushed everyone away for, had hidden something so big from her. Hunter apologized. Becky said she didn't know whether she was more angry at Dan or at Hunter. By morning, both of them were in bad shape. Becky's leg wound hurt badly, and dehydration made it hard for her to even stand. Now their only option was to reach the backpack stuck on the satellite dish below. Hunter checked the rope length. The bag was about 50 feet down, but their rope was a few feet shorter. Still, she decided to go. Becky tried to stop her, but Hunter said they wouldn't survive long without water. Hunter tied the rope to a strong rod above and slowly climbed down. Even at the end of the rope, the dish was still several feet below her. She swung her body a few times to measure the distance. Then she opened her safety clip and jumped down. Hunter landed hard on the dish but managed not to fall off the edge. After a moment, she stood up, reached the bag, and held up a water bottle to show Becky. She tied the bag to the rope so Becky could pull it up. Now the real problem was getting Hunter back up. The rope was hanging far above her reach. She jumped and grabbed it, then started climbing. After going up a short distance, her grip slipped. Hunter fell fast and slammed into the satellite dish. Becky panicked and looked down. For a moment, Hunter didn't make any sound. Then suddenly, Becky heard her voice. Hunter said the bag had broken her fall and she was still alive. Becky lowered the rope and with a lot of effort, pulled her back up to the platform. Both of them drank water and sat down. Becky was still angry about the affair, but escaping from the tower was more important now. After a while, Becky fell asleep. She dreamed that Hunter was lying dead on the satellite dish and a vulture was tearing at her body. Becky woke up in fear. She saw Hunter sitting beside her, so she tried to forget the nightmare. With the bag back, they now had water, the drone, and its controller. They wrote a help message on a piece of paper and tied it to the drone. The plan was to send the drone to the diner they had seen earlier. Someone there might read the message and call the police. But as soon as they launched the drone, the controller showed a low battery warning. With such little battery, it couldn't reach the diner. Becky immediately called it back. If the drone crashed, that option would be gone forever. Now the problem was how to find electricity at the top of the tower to charge the drone. Becky remembered Hunter's trick at the diner with the table lamp. There was a warning light installed above the platform. If they could reach its socket, they could charge the drone. But the ladder leading to the warning light had also fallen. She tied the drone and the charging cable to her clothes and started climbing up the pole. The strong wind made the structure sway, but slowly she reached the warning light. She opened the light's cover and removed the bulb. The charger fit into the socket, but the connection wasn't complete, so Becky took off her wedding ring and wedged it between the metal contacts. The ring conducted electricity, and the drone's battery finally began to charge. The ring got stuck in the socket and started heating up, but Becky left it there. Meanwhile, a vulture began circling around her. It kept trying to come close to Becky and the drone. Becky held onto the pole with one hand and used the other to shoo the bird away. She waited, protecting the drone from falling until the battery charged enough. After a long time, the battery reached the minimum level they needed. Becky unplugged the charger and climbed back down to the platform with the drone. They tied the help note to the drone and sent it toward the diner. The controller's screen showed the drone's path, and it slowly approached the road. The diner wasn't far now. Becky started lowering the drone. Just then, the same fast truck passed on the road. The drone collided directly with the truck and shattered. The controller's screen went black instantly. Becky stared at the screen for a while. After all that time and effort, this plan had failed too. Now they had very little water left. Becky handed the bottle to Hunter, but Hunter pushed it back. She said Becky needed it more. Becky found this strange because ever since the bag came up, Hunter hadn't drunk a single drop of water. A little later, Becky suggested throwing the phone down again. She said they could put it inside her other shoe this time. Hunter calmly said her second shoe had already been thrown down earlier. Becky froze. She turned slowly toward the platform. Hunter wasn't there. Becky looked down toward the satellite dish. Hunter's body was lying exactly where she had fallen and hit the dish. Her head was turned to one side, and vultures were sitting around her. Now Becky remembered everything clearly. Hunter had never climbed back up. She had died the moment she fell from the rope. Becky had pulled the bag up alone. Because of dehydration, shock, and loneliness, her mind kept imagining Hunter beside her. The Hunter she had been talking to all this time was only a hallucination. Charging the drone, flying it, and every other task, Becky had done all of it alone. Realizing the truth, she sat down on the platform. She was completely alone on the tower now. Her leg was injured, the water was almost gone, and no one knew her location. After the night passed, her condition worsened. She tied herself to the pole and slept on the platform. In the morning, a vulture landed on her injured leg. It used its beak to pull off the bandage and started tearing at the wound. The pain woke Becky up. She tried to grab the bird, but it flew a short distance away. After some time, the same vulture came back. This time, Becky was ready. As soon as the bird leaned toward her leg, she grabbed its neck with both hands. After a long struggle, she killed the vulture. Becky had been starving for days, and she had nothing left to eat. Finally, she ate the vulture's meat and drank the remaining water. After gaining a little strength, she prepared her final plan. She had to reach the satellite dish below, because using Hunter's body, she could send the phone safely to the ground. Becky tied the rope to the strong rod above. She checked the knot and began climbing down from the platform. Slowly, she reached the end of the rope. The rope ended a few feet above the dish, so she opened her safety clip and jumped. She landed on the dish and slipped, but managed to grab the metal edge. Vultures were sitting around her. Becky shooed them away and sat quietly next to her friend for a moment. Becky typed a message on her phone for her father, James. She shared her location and wrote that she needed help immediately. If she threw the phone straight down, it might break like the first one. So she took Hunter's shoe, placed the phone inside, and wrapped it tightly with cloth. Then she placed the shoe inside Hunter's body, in the opening the vultures had already made, and gently pushed the body off the tower. The body fell rapidly and hit the ground below. As soon as it reached the area with network, Becky's help message was sent. James received the message, saw her location, and informed emergency services. After some time, Becky was safely rescued from the tower. She told her father she was okay now. James held her and helped her into the ambulance. And with that, the film ends.